Hello, everyone. Thank you all for joining us for this month's Anansi Tech Community Call. And this is the first one for the year. So Happy New Year to everyone. I hope you enjoyed the holiday break. And I'll be the host for today. So this community call is hosted by Sister Technology, which is a company based in Ghana, and NTC Tech, which is based in the US. Next slide, Nikki. Just a friendly reminder, all meetings are being recorded and posted to our community YouTube channel. So if you don't want to be recorded, make sure that you turn off your camera or stay on mute or disengage entirely from the call. And you can watch the recording later, but you won't be on the recording if you turn off your camera and stay off mute. Thank you. So the agenda for today, arrivals. So we just finished with the greetings or welcomes and arrivals. We have the agenda which I'm currently on. We'll go meet the team. We will learn about the Anansi Tech community. There's a call for speakers, sponsors, and volunteers. We will talk about the community announcements. Then, of course, we'll go through our speaker time. And then if we have time in the end, we'll go through networking time as well, and then move to our closing. So meet the Anansi Tech community team is the leadership team mainly from NTC Tech and Sister Tech. That is the founders for the Anansi Tech community. So you see all of us on this slide, and I'm your host today. Special thanks goes out to Ezra, one of our co-founders who will be moving on to other opportunities. Ezra has really contributed a lot to Anansi, making sure Anansi Tech community is out there, promoting it and handling our socials and doing a lot behind the scenes. And we'll miss you, Ezra. Let's move on to the next slide. For those who might be new to the community, Anansi Tech is a space where Microsoft professionals, tech enthusiasts, and curious minds can learn, grow, and build together right here in Ghana. So we are looking for like-minded people to join the community, people that want to share ideas, people that are new to tech community and might be interested in Microsoft tech. Although the focus is mainly on Microsoft Office 365 and Power Platform. We also have the career topics. On this slide, we have the links to our community page and our company page. The company page for discussions and the community page for discussions and the company page for events. If you can post about this meeting on social media platforms, you can use the hashtags Anansi Tech Community and Anansi Tech. So I would encourage everyone to at least post it on their social so that people who are interested in community like this, people who want to learn can also join. Okay, I think it's the slides are lagging a bit. I don't know if it's just from my side. Okay, so we are still looking for speakers, sponsors, and volunteers. This is something that we're always looking for. So for speakers, whether it's you are new to, it's your first time speaking, or you're a seasoned presenter, we would love to host you. We are mainly looking for topics around Microsoft technologies, especially Microsoft 365 and the Power Platform. That said, we are also open to related tech topics, as well as tech and career focused sessions that add value to the community. Also, being a speaker also is a great thing to add to your CV. So if you do speak for our community, we make sure you add that to your CV as well. For sponsors, we are looking for sponsors to help us sponsor our monthly calls, and especially our in-person conferences, the mini conferences and the big conference when we get around to actually being able to plan that. So we will need sponsors for that as well. For the volunteers, we always need volunteers to help us with hosting, with handling our socials. We need volunteers to help with finding speakers, with running the chats during an event. Lots of different ways to volunteer. So if you want to volunteer, or if you know anyone who would like to volunteer, let the person reach out. If you volunteer with us for 3 months, 3 months, we will write you a letter of recommendation that you can add to your portfolio. I want to give a huge thanks to our volunteers. We have Harrison and Samuel, who have been a great support to us and to the community. Okay, so our community announcements. If you have any announcement that you think can help the community, you can share it with us, and you can share them with us through our email address on this slide, anansitech.com at outlook.com. Okay, so there's one that we have, AI Conference Africa, which is happening at the Accra International Conference Center on March 26th March. That will be an interesting conference. I think as a tech enthusiast, you should be there. We also have a list of tech conferences for the first quarter of the year. International Conference Data Analytics. On data analytics and IT technologies, we have one on innovation, sustainability and emerging technologies, and other ones as well. So these ones are, I think, conferences for the first quarter of the year. So there'll be a QR code at the end so that you can scan and you'll be able to get to these slides later and have access to this events list. So a quick reminder about our updated schedule. We hold our regular sessions, which is our monthly sessions, like today's sessions every month. We also aim for an in-person meetup at least once per quarter, which we had, I think, we had one in, I think, October. Yeah, it was in October. For the next one, we will decide on registration. If turnout is strong, we'll meet in person. Otherwise, we will host it online. Now to this is a community built on a simple idea. Each one teach one. we really appreciate everyone sharing the community so others can also join and learn. We also encourage everyone not just to learn, but to share what they know so others can go and stay ahead of the technology curve. So the knowledge you take for granted could be exactly what someone else needs to move forward. So I would encourage everyone to keep sharing. Sharing is caring, so keep sharing if you have the chance to. Okay, the next thing will be our video. So let's watch this one. It's on Microsoft Office 365 customer story.
You do. Being the leader in rare disease and specialized condition, that comes at us in many different shapes and forms. There are hundreds of millions of rare disease patients globally.
When you see a patient right in front of you with these rare diseases talking about their life's journey, it's really powerful, it's really moving, and that's what's inspiring everyone at Shire. Shire's business model is not only internal research, but it also includes evaluating and acquiring new companies. And that's partly why we're here in the Cambridge area, is to be surrounded by the best and the brightest in the world around drug development.
We were about a 5,000 person company, and we combined with Baxalta. We now have a 22,000 plus size organization, and that provides us the opportunity to really start from scratch with Office 365 and do it the right way and build out in a modern, seamless way. So we've created the Hub, which is our home for all things Office 365 and SharePoint. So we have one destination for our employees around the globe to find information.
During the acquisition, we've had a lot of change. How do you let people know what's going on? News is propagated at the very top, and then we have some featured areas like newsletters, tools, town halls. So each one of the functional portals has a content owner, and the content owner has to go through training, making sure that they're putting information in the right format, understand their audiences. It's not just for yourself, but how can you be productive as a team?
It's about enabling our vision of any device, anywhere, anytime. Seeing it come to life on my own mobile device, being able to download the apps, being able to use my Delve app to connect with colleagues from around the world.
Microsoft is a leading technology company, so it's critically important for us to be working with an industry. We have a passion for all the patients that are in the world that are underserved. We need to be connected. We need to be able to work at whatever point in time, whatever day it is, to be able to move our programs forward to meet our patients' needs.
All right. So these are some of one of the Microsoft 365 tools, SharePoint. Let's go ahead. Let's go on with our speakers. It's our speaker time. So our first speaker will be Nikki Akata, who is a co-founder for Anansi, the Anansi Tech community, co-CEO for NTC Tech, and CTO for CISA Tech, who will be presenting on Microsoft Copilot for everyday productivity. Let's give Nikki some reactions.
All right, thanks, Sigil. I'll go ahead and get my slides up now, and we will go ahead and jump into this. So thank you everyone for joining Anansi this month and for joining my session where we're going to talk about Microsoft Copilot for everyday productivity. So this session is about everyday productivity. It's not about the AI hype. There's so much AI hype out there, but how do you actually use the AI? So we're going to be focusing on how Microsoft Copilot helps you work faster, think clearer, and reduce busy work inside of your everyday job with the tools that you already use, like for Word and PowerPoint and Excel and Outlook. This is not about replacing people. It's about helping people do their jobs faster and smarter. So again, my name is Nakia Carter. I'm co-founder of Anansi Tech, but also co-CEO for NTC Tech and CTO for CISA Tech. Both companies are Microsoft partners, both based in, one based in Ghana and one based in the U.S. And you can see some of my other tech, tech bona fides on this slide. So what is Copilot actually? It's Microsoft's version of AI. It's embedded into the M365 products. It works with documents, with emails, with your data, and it helps you to stay in control while it assists you. So you're still in control. You're the one giving the prompts and everything, but the assistance is there to help you get your job done faster. Now, there are lots of different versions of Copilot. Microsoft has Copilot in everything now. But the ones we're going to focus on is mainly, or the one that we're mainly going to focus on is the M365 Copilot, the one that comes with your Office 365. So kind of a thing for people to understand, because this gets people. If you want Copilot to work in your Office suite, you want it to work in Excel and OneNote and PowerPoint and Word, then you want Office 365, or I'm sorry, Microsoft 365 Copilot. There's also a Copilot that's in the Microsoft 365 tenant, and then there's this Copilot chat, which everybody gets when you have a Windows machine and or have a Microsoft account of any sort, a free one or a paid one. But we're going to concentrate on this one. There's also folks that want Copilot in their teams to take notes for you. Once you pay for this license, you also get Copilot Premium. This license is $30 a month. But if you just want the note-taking, then you go for Teams Premium. It's not called Copilot in Teams. It's not called Teams Copilot. It's called Teams Premium. That one has Copilot in it for Teams. So if you only want the one that takes your notes for your meetings and gives you, the notes and the transcript, not the transcript, the notes and the action items, and that you can ask, things about your meeting, then you want Teams Premium, or you want to get the Office M365 Copilot, which will also cover Teams Premium as well as the Office Suite. Now, this is a broader Copilot journey. We're not going to discuss it today. I just want to make sure that you're aware that there are some steps that you need to go through for any AI journey. But here's some steps that we came up for Copilot in particular. But any AI, you don't want to just set it up, especially if it's running on your internal system, is running on your work data, your organization's data. You don't want it to, you don't want to just turn it on, because people can end up asking questions and getting answers to things you might not want them to have answers to. They also may get answers that don't make any sense if you don't do a good job setting up. So this is a journey that we put together. It's about 7-ish steps to getting AI set up, especially through Copilot, but you can also kind of apply this to other AIs if it's touching a data set. All right. So now we're about to go into about 4 demos. I'm going to demo Copilot in Word, Copilot in PowerPoint, Copilot in Excel, and then I'm going to also demo Copilot in Outlook. Now for Copilot for Word, Excel, and PowerPoint, you have to have a Copilot license and for M365 in order for this to work. If you don't, this is not going to work. For the one for Outlook, the things that I'm going to show you for Outlook, that part, you don't have to have, because Copilot is baked in. Free versions are baked into certain parts of the suite, your tenant. And Outlook is one of those things where the baked-inness is there. So let's start with Word. Let me get my Word document up. Okay. Let's see. Let me get it back up here. All right. So I have a Word document here, and I'm in my account that has M365 Copilot on it, so I can actually do these things. So I'm going to have this little Copilot thing up here on my home ribbon, the little Copilot button at the end. So I can click on that. But there's also this Copilot at the top. This one disappears once you start getting into the document, but you could use this one initially. It doesn't really matter. So I'm going to say that I want to have, let's see, prompt for a, let me just pull this out of my other place so I don't have to keep on typing. Okay, so we want to draft a one-pager. Just put this here so you can see it. So I can put it up here. If it's a brand new document, I can put it up there. Or if this is gone, once you start working on the document, this part will disappear. I could put it over here. So I'm going to put draft the one-page project update for leadership summarizing progress, risks, and next steps. Now you might be like, but it's going to draft a report and you didn't even tell it what to draft it on? Yeah, AI is going to do that, which is important for you to know that you should be making sure that you understand what you're putting in as the prompt. You're putting in a prompt that makes sense, has all the details in it that you need to be given to the AI. As much detail as you can start off with in the beginning, the better result. But just starting off with that, AI doesn't even know what I'm referring to, but it's going to be like, okay, I'm going to try to put something together for you, even though you kind of gave me, I need this thing built, but you didn't tell me, like, some specific details. So once I put that in, as you can see, AI, let's see, why is my mouse gone? Okay, there it is. AI has already or Copilot already went and built this thing. So my prompt was draft a one-page update for leadership, summarizing progress, risk, and next steps. So it gave me a report for summarizing progress, risk, and next steps with an executive summary, with project milestones, with current risks, with next steps. So it gave me something. Is this usable? Possibly. Oopsie. I hit the thing again. Sorry. When I hit the thing again, it just redid it. I meant to hit the keep it, not to start over. But can you use it? Possibly. You might just say, this looks good as a template, but I need to make some specific changes here. But anyway, I'm going to say keep it, and then we're going to go on to the next step. And that is, so after drafting, like rewriting it. So asking it to rewrite it so it sounds more professional and things like that. So let me get out of here. Get back to my Word document. Oops. My mouse is messing up a little bit. Okay. Now, like I said, because we're in this document now, it's updated. Not updated. It's got this thing. It's got some stuff in it now. Notice the box is gone. But we still have the Copilot, so if you didn't open it on the side, you could still open the Copilot message box by hitting Copilot right here in the window, and it would just, on the ribbon, and it would just open up the side window. So the next thing that we wanted to do was to make this thing a little bit more professional and, more concise. So I'm going to put in the window to rewrite it. Now there's a couple of ways I could do this. I could put it there. I could select everything in the document and then use this little pencil button on the side. And in this pencil button, sometimes it has make more formal or more concise or more professional. Sometimes it has that. But you can also type it or put your prompts in there like that. Whoops, without that. Okay. Or you can put it in like the side panel, like I said. Now, either way, now I like to usually use the pencil as opposed to using the side panel. But either way, once you do it. Now, the reason why I like using the pencil instead of the side panel, because sometimes the side panel will put the data that you're asking for it to put in the document in the side panel, as opposed to putting it in the actual document, which is what you meant for it to do. So see, here you go. See how I put it in the side panel? That's not really what I want it to do. So usually what I'll do is I highlight the sections that I want, use the pencil in the document, and then do it that way. And then that way it will actually modify the text in the document as opposed to give me the new text on the side document, which is not all that helpful unless, you know, to me that's not that helpful. So, and I think for the most part that's not going to be that helpful. But it's going through its thing. And now it's saying, do you want to keep this? So if I kept it, it would keep this new version underneath the version that was already there. But really what I want to do is replace it. So I will read over it and say, this sounds good, sounds right, replace it. And that will replace the text in there. There you go. Sorry. And notice how it's shorter now. I said to make it more concise. More concise means shorter, so it made it shorter. All right, so you can use Copilot to help you with editing. You don't have to accept the things that it gives you. You can reject the things. You can replace the text. You can modify different sections by just, choosing that section, hitting the Copilot pencil, and then, writing in what your prompt is to make your document more of what you want. Okay, so that is Word. So again, Copilot helps you start but not finish the work because, again, it's not replacing you. It still needs you to do the thinking, to give it the prompts, but it can help you start. It can help you, work through it, but you basically have to put in the work and the brain power and the prompts to finish that work. Okay. So next up, let's look at Copilot in PowerPoint. All right. Let's see. No momento, folks. I got so many things up. Of course, that doesn't want to do what I'm asking it to do. Okay, so let me open up PowerPoint. Okay. So with PowerPoint, there are a couple of ways to do it. There is the create a PowerPoint from dang, I wish this thing would move. There's a create a PowerPoint from here, so you can create using Copilot from here. I don't really like using that. There also sometimes you'll see a little drop down that appears over this that'll say create Copilot, create presentation or create presentation with Copilot. I usually don't create it from there. I usually go into Copilot and create it, but I could, and actually I need to change because this account doesn't have Copilot on it, so I need to change my account, and then when I hit create in Copilot, create with Copilot, come on. Then I'll get this window where I'll be able to type in what I'm trying to create. Now, I used to do it this way, but now I usually create my slides in Copilot in the long version, and then I like copy and paste in here. But that may be something that you do later. But for now, let me get the prompt. We are going to create a 6-page, a 6-slide presentation. Okay, it's not letting me do that. Presentation explaining Microsoft Copilot for everyday productivity. So basically the thing that I did today. Again, I don't really create my slides like this, but I have in the past, and I probably will again, and I know others on my team do it this way. That you can create the slides, hit that create, and then it will create the outline, and then you look over the outline. Now, the great thing about doing it this way, though, there is a good thing about doing it this way, is especially if you're in a pinch, you need to hurry up and create a slide deck. You don't have time. Oh, hopefully it doesn't keep doing that. You don't have time to, you know, get your thoughts together. You just know you got to create this thing. You don't have time to really like put together outline yourself and all of that. You don't have time to make it pretty. So you want to hurry up and just throw together something. And of course, Microsoft made some changes, so this thing looks different now. So I'm going to attempt to go through some of this stuff, but this is the cloud demonstration, which I didn't put my cloud disclaimer. Always excuse us when we're demonstrating the cloud because sometimes things change and they can change at any time without warning. So here is my outline up at the top. My 6-slide presentation will have this. I think this is going to be the name of it. And then these are like the core features, the practical application. Now, I could add more to it, like add another topic, but I'm going to leave this the way it is. I'm going to go down to the bottom just to kind of see, okay, so I can choose different presentation styles, and I can choose different presentation preferences. Okay, well, this is new. So let me go ahead and try, let me see, we're talking about Copilot. Let's use something like this, maybe. That color with photorealistic. No, maybe not photorealistic. Maybe, I'll say that. Okay, then we're going to hit the generate, and it's going to start generating some slides. So again, it's pretty cool though, even though I don't do it this way as much. But it's pretty cool because you can see not only the outline, but once you see it start generating the slides, it'll actually show you what each slide looks like. It'll have picture on it and everything. And usually it will also put in speaker notes for you, but sometimes you have to request it to do that. And it's taken forever. Okay, while it's taken forever, once the slides finish, we'll see how, we get the title and the structure and the speaker notes, if it puts the speaker notes in there. And then we could possibly try to refine it, but I'll see how long this thing takes. If it takes forever, then we'll just move on. Good grief. Okay. Okay, usually doesn't take this long, especially for 6 slides. So I might end up just letting this thing run and coming back to it. in a minute so y'all can see the slides. Or it could be just having a fit because I got like multiple PowerPoints up at this point. Well, it's not really having a fit, but it's being slow. All right. So let's go on. We'll come back to this in a minute. And yes, I think it's because I got too many windows, PowerPoint windows open. Because now it won't even let me switch windows. Okay, hopefully I don't have to escape out of this. Yay, finally. Phew, okay. So, as you can see, I got these slides in here. They're already pretty. They already got text on them. Now you want to make sure that you go in and you verify that this is what you want. Now you can hit keep it. There's no option for you to like do a new prompt, modify the prompt that's already there. Either you keep it or you're gonna have to start over. So you can hit keep it, but you can also just click on the slide or put it in display mode. Like if I just click on the slide, it just goes into, or double click on the slide, it just goes into the regular way we normally see our slides. Now, of course, you're going to want to go over each slide and make sure that each slide says and exactly what you want it to say and is accurate. Because, and that's for everything. Everything that AI creates, period. This is the reason why it does not get rid of you. Because you still need to be there to make sure that things are right and modify when things are going sideways. You still need to have that expertise in order to be able to also be able to make those decision calls. So as you can see, it already has the speaker notes in it too, so you want to check your speaker notes too. Now, I'm not going to do anything else with this because we already saw how it was taking a long time because I have so many decks up right now. So I'm just going to go ahead and move on to the Excel demo. I don't want to save this. Okay. So, in this one you saw how Copilot helps you with structure, helps build everything, can build very beautiful presentations for you without you, and very quickly, or relatively quickly, depending on what you got up. But it can build up presentations for you really quickly that are already pretty. But although it gives you the structure, gives you the content and all of that, you still have to bring your own judgment and make sure you double check over everything. Now let's look at Excel. So Excel can be powerful, but it can be intimidating to many people. So Copilot can help like lowering that barrier and make people feel a little bit more comfortable. So say, for example, you have a sheet of data and you got lots of data in here. And you're just like, I was told that I need to do stuff with this, but I don't know how to do all this. I'm not a number cruncher. So what can you do? You can come into here, and if you have Copilot, then it can help you summarize what's in here. It can help you get more insights out of it as well. So, for example, there's some prompts under here that I could type in. One of them is summarize the data in this workbook, which is the prompt I was about to type in. But as you see, sometimes it gives you some prompts to be like, you might want to do this, that, and the other. So I'm going to choose this one, summarize the data in the workbook. And when I hit go, in this window, it's going to give me the data to summarize what's going on in this spreadsheet. All right, so it says here's a high-level summary based on the data that you have open. You have about 700 rows, so it gives you all this data about this many rows, this many columns, this time span, this geographies, this many segments. These products, whoops, this window sometimes I think is way too small. Geez, it's like cutting out this part of the stuff. Okay, so categories. Let me go use this a little bit. So top segments, most common countries, most sold products, frequent discount, monthly transactions, so forth and so on. So this can help you when somebody hands you this big old thing and you're like, how did I understand all of this? You can use natural language to, again, create a prompt to help you get some insights here. So another thing you might want to do is you might want to say something like summarize key trends in the data. Say this before, but I always use please. Especially in the beginning, it seemed like AI responded better with please than if you just gave it a command. But now it just seems like it just responds. But I still use please. So just in case you think that might be looking weird. All right, so it's going through Python to actually, and it's giving me the script to actually run if I wanted to do this thing again on my own. Want that? I want the actual data. So here's the growth scale. So here's some trends. There was a growth scale there. Seasonality, where the money is being made. The segment mix and profitability. Performance. Geography insights, so forth and so on. I can also ask it, is there anything that sticks out? Is there anything weird in this data? So I could say, which values stand out as unusual? All right, then it's going to tell me the things that are actually standing out here. It's giving me some outliers. Extremely high sales values. Unusually low or negative profits, which is not normal. Extreme margins. So again, it can help me analyze the data that's in this spreadsheet, give me information back that makes sense to somebody who's not used to crunching numbers like that. So it can make Excel a whole lot easier, especially when you're dealing with big data sheets and workbooks worth of a whole bunch of data. So you don't need to be the Excel expert in order to ask the good questions, because everybody can ask questions and everybody can ask good questions. But you don't need to be the expert in order to analyze that data and get the insights out of it that you need. So my last demo is on Outlook. Now, as opposed to Word, PowerPoint, and Excel, Outlook, you can actually not have the Copilot license because Microsoft has it in a lot of its products now, a free version. So you could use the free version here to do the things that I'm about to show you. So if we go to email, come on Outlook, go to email. Hold on 1 second. Okay, let me close Outlook and reopen it. Oh, now you want to respond, and then you're probably going to close. Okay, so I'm going to choose a, okay, looks like it's not closing. I'm going to, and of course, then it closes. All right, I'm going to choose my email account that doesn't have Copilot in it. once I can get Outlook to open back up. All right. Okay, so let me go to my accounts with Joy Bay. This is the new Outlook. Sometimes it's a bit slow. Okay. So right now I have an account open that doesn't have Copilot in it. So if I want to go to maybe this email and I want to summarize it. Oops, let me delete that. Okay. All right. So I have this email up and I want to summarize it. There is a, oh, where did it go? Oh, don't tell me they're moving stuff right now. Oh, because this was just here. Where did the summarize go? Oh, it wasn't all the way finished uploading. This is another reason why this version kills me, because it takes forever to upload sometimes. Finish uploading everything. I also have a gazillion email accounts though, but which might not be helpful. But there's the summarize button. And again, this is an account that I don't have Copilot on. So I do have the ability to summarize by clicking on that button. And that is a Copilot functionality. I clicked on it. It should open up a side panel. Okay, so I've clicked on it twice. It should open up a side panel summarizing the email. Summarize. It would summarize the email. It would be in the side panel. When you click that summarize button, it actually will refer to that email, so we'll know which email that you're talking about. It'll open up the Copilot window, and it'll show the summary of the email, and it'll summarize it, to a shorter form. You can even ask it to draft you an email responding to that email. So once you got that summary in the Copilot window, then you would be able to say, draft a polite professional response, agreeing to whatever, responding to whatever or whatever. You can also ask it to give you the key points so that you can have, maybe a meeting on that email or something like that. But the first thing, if you don't have the license, you hit the summarize first, which will make sure that email's context is put into the Copilot window. And then you can use the Copilot window to create your other prompts. Sorry that demo did not work. But Copilot can help you respond intentionally and not reactively. Now, if you have the full license, it's even more powerful. It definitely will see the email, and it normally will give you a lot better and more in-depth responses. All right. So I'll give you some things to consider. Don't just turn on AI. Make sure you understand the business case and what AI Copilot is needed before you go and buy a license and then go set it up, because you don't want to waste money. You also don't want to waste time. Set it up properly. Understand that sometimes things are not fully featured, so some things that you might see in certain other AIs might not be fully baked in Copilot, even though a lot of it is now. And then sometimes there's also the when they're making changes or they're updating it, Copilot might say, I'm not ready right now, or come back later or whatnot, and you might have to wait a little bit and then come back to it. Remember that training is key for yourself as well as for your people if you're running as a lead in your organization in IT. Here's a reference for some prompts for creating AI prompts. This is creating AI prompts in general, so you'll be able to get to this reference when you get this deck. So giving you some key takeaways, Copilot doesn't replace expertise. You're still needed. It just supports you. It supports that expertise. It makes you able to get things done faster and more quickly, more professionally at times, especially if you're not a good wordsmith. And it could just speed up your work and make your life a whole lot easier. So you want to start small and then practice, because practice makes perfect, and focus on real work and not perfection. Eventually you'll get there. You'll have your own method and how you do things and how AI works best for you. But until you get there, just practice and perfect your method. So my challenge to you is to start simple. You know, this week, if you have Copilot, already a Copilot license on your Microsoft Office suite, then use it for a real task. Actually ask it to develop a presentation for you or a document or something like that. Give it a full-bodied prompt with details in it that would help it to create what it is that you're wanting to create. And then, you know, like I said, refine your process. So, you know, productivity doesn't happen all at one time. It happens over time, and gradually you get better and better at it, and things just improve. So I have not been looking at the chat window, but I did see that there aren't any questions in the chat window. But does anybody have any questions before I hand it over to Harry?
You can come off mute to ask your questions or put it in the chat.
Yes.
I think Harry has a question. Go on, Harry.
I have one question. As you were going through the demo, I noticed that you were able to make it more professional, make it more concise, things of that nature. Do AI get to the point where you don't have to constantly keep telling it that you want it to be done in a certain way because it's getting used to you doing it?
Yeah. Yeah. So AI does learn. So while you're practicing and getting your perfection, it's also practicing and getting you down, understanding the things that you expect, understanding the data sets that you usually go to, and things like that. But one way to try to get it to understand you a little bit quicker, to start off with, is to train your AI, which we talk about it in another session for a different group. Actually, I think we even talked about it for Nancy back in October, or no, in August. I think it was in August that we had this talk. But you basically train the AI. You go to Copilot, the chat, and then you tell it about yourself. You feed it your LinkedIn profile. You feed it people that you work with and people that you interact with. You feed it your passions and, you know, things that you work on, different work items that you've worked on, and it will understand you from that, but then eventually it will just start understanding you the more and more and more that you use it. Thanks for that question, Harry. Any other questions? All right.
I don't see anything in the chat, and I don't see any hands up.
Alrighty. Well, folks,
All
if
right.
you have any questions, please put them in the chat window for me. I will be watching. Of course, I'm not going anywhere.
All right. Thank you, Nikki. And yes, thank you, AI. We're always thankful for AI. So like Nikki said, Copilot doesn't replace you. It helps you work faster so you focus on what actually matters. But let's be honest. You're at risk of being replaced by someone who knows how to use AI well. For example, if there are two people who can do the same job, the one who uses AI will definitely win. And it's not because they are smarter than you, but because they get more done. So instead of spending time drafting your emails, summarizing long documents, fixing slide layouts, AI helps you get through all those tasks quickly. And it gives you more time to think, solve problems. It helps you to be creative. And you get more time to actually add value. And I believe that's what managers want. People who are productive, who are efficient and focused on results, not just stuck in doing repetitive work all day. So my advice to everyone is to learn to work with AI, or someone else will definitely move faster than you and take your job. All right, so let's move on to our next speaker, Harry Carter. So the techie who claims to be non-techie, but taught me tech. So Harry Carter is the co-CEO of Tech and also co-CEO of NTC Tech. He's also a co-founder of Anansi Tech Community. All right, so
All right.
Harry, over
Yep.
to you.
Thank you very much, Sigu. Appreciate it. And to everyone that's here, Happy New Year, and I'm glad you all came. As we go into the new year, things is changing, the world is changing. More people are doing more coding, more people are building more apps, more people are getting into technology. So what we're going to talk about today is professionalism in technology environments, building trust, reliability, and innovation. Cultivating ethical practices, dependable technology solutions. And let me share my screen. All right, there we go. All right, and like Sigu said, I am Harry Carter, co-CEO of Sister Tech and co-CEO of NCT Tech as well. Both partners are authorized Microsoft Cloud Solution Partners. We work with a lot of people that do coding. We see a lot of coding. So things are changing daily. So we see different changes. We see those who do good coding. We see those who do bad coding. We see those who do unethical coding. So what we're going to talk about today. So the agenda today is going to be ethical conduct integrated into technology, clear communication and fast-paced technical workplace, respectful collaboration, shareholders engagement, professionalism as a foundation for innovation and culture. So to get into this, start with ethical conduct and integration and technology. So upholding integration and coding and software development coding is not neutral. It's a reflection of the values and the decisions of the people who writes it. Code reflects values just as much as functionality. So the way you code, how you code, what you code, it reflects you. Integration means secure, maintainable, and honest coding. No harmful shortcuts. Ethical code build trust, reduce long-term risks. Pressure often tests ethical judgment, transparency. Early escalation prevents bigger failure. So we get into a lot now where people do coding. and they make a mistake at a low area. They keep going. They keep compounding on it. So writing clean code, honest code is critical to software, reliable, maintainable, and security. Statistics show that technical debt caused by rushing or shortcut development can increase maintenance costs by up to 25%. Now, if you're coming from a CEO or a boss point of view, and I have you coding and you taking shortcuts, not putting all the safeguards in it, and then we sell that information or we sell that product to a client or we build for a client, and then it breaks or someone hacks in, there's a back door and all these things. How much problem is that causing us? Or how much is that going to cause you? Or how much is it going to cost for the client? It's a complete start over. Is a lost in trust. Your integrity is compromised. So respecting intellectual property, ensuring compliance, legal standard, fostering innovation, and making sure you don't do shortcuts. Furthermore, adhere to coding ethics, help avoid common security pitfalls such as injection flaws and proper data validation, which are responsible for over 60% of software vulnerabilities reporting annually. So if you're looking at how do people constantly keep getting into your systems, how do they keep hacking into your system? Because hackers are good at what they do. Most of the time, it's because of flaws that we put into our own coding. Half jobs, rush jobs, because you want to get there and get it done before that next meeting. Technical project managers regularly face tough ethical decisions, especially around how users' data is handled and protected. Many data breaches, like I said before, happens not because of bad intentions, but because clear ethical guidelines are missed. Being transparent in your decision making, having simple, well-documented frameworks help teams stay compliant with regulatories like GDPR, and CCPA. When challenges arise involving stakeholders and seeking expert advice, support responsibilities, and ethical project delivery. So if you run across issues and you see that you're stuck somewhere, don't just throw anything in there or skip over or go around it. Seek help. You're respected more by your peers and by your employer when you do seek help. Because then as a team, we could resolve any blockers you have to help you move forward, because that not only do it helps you grow and makes your skills sharper, it makes the company better. And then we all understand the problems that you're going through and how it relates to what we're doing and how we're connected across the organization. Promoting fairness and accountability in team dynamics. So one thing that you got to understand is implementing unbiased hiring processes is one thing that most CEOs have to look at. Increasing workforce diversity. You don't know where that next innovations come from. Who it's going to come from? It comes from male, female, white, black, purple. We don't know. But when you have a diverse, dynamic team, you have different backgrounds, you have different experiences. So their innovations and how they see problems being solved may be different, but it might be the perfect solution. Doing fair performance evaluation and equitable distribution of tasks, fostering trust or moral, reduce team turnover ratio by over 50%. So by having a diverse set of group, if you ever heard of look at a magnet, you take two magnets, right? You look at the positive side of the magnet, you try to push them together, they push apart. But you take the opposite sides and you put them together, you put them the positive and the negative together, they stick together. Why is that? Because there's a different energy. They're different. They see each other different. They find common ground. They found synergy, and that's why they stick together. So promoting a fairness, accountability in the team, when people come on that is new, diverse, and, bring them into your wing. Show them how things are working. So, engaging accountability, a culture of engaging, admitting mistakes, enhance accountability, bringing people in close, teaching them each thing that, you want them to know as they come on board. It's what you want to have in a diverse, well-structured, strong environment that will actually work as a better team than you have a bunch of people that is all the same color. And what I mean by same color, that personality is the same, their viewpoints are the same, every way they do things is the same. So your company will look exactly the same. It will be bland, it will not be innovative, and it will not grow. Clear communication facing face-paced tech workplace and a fast-paced tech workplace. So effective technical documentation and reporting. That's another thing that is a big problem that we have that can help you with your ethics and help you be more professional. So clear documentation saves time. It reduces error and support long-term maintenance. So if I send you or send someone to go fix something, it's not documented. You leave, find a different position, you find better opportunity, you might be retiring, whatever, you leave. I send someone, it breaks again. I send someone else behind you. They don't understand what you did beforehand. So therefore, that documentation, if you document it, then the next tech can come in and read on what you did and build off of what you did. So good reports make complex systems easier to understand for both techs and non-technical audience like myself, a non-technical person that's coming in trying to figure out what does these things do, and having it broke down in layman's terms where so we understand is a plus. Constructive feedback and code review and team meetings. So feedback focused onto improvement, not blame. Respectful code, reviewing strength and quality, learning, and team trust. Managing communication across diverse teams. Diverse teams bring different perspectives, as I said before, and strength. Clear, inclusive communication help prevent misunderstanding, improve collaboration. Strong communication keeps everyone aligned, regardless of background or location. So each person experience, each person life choices that they've been through have given them a different perspective on things. So when they say to you, hey, I want to hear what I want from you something different. Something is different. I want to hire you because you do something different. You're different than Amy or Tom or Jeff or Kofi here or, whoever. You're different from Siegel. You're different from Harry. I want to see your differences in your work because that's the purpose of the diversity. Effective technical documentation and reporting. Comprehensive technical documents improve knowledge sharing and reduce onboarding time by approximately 23%. So, like I said before, there's always someone coming behind you on what you do, whether it's someone building on what you're doing or connecting into what you do. If you are the coder and this person is the designer, then they need to be able to comprehend your technical documentation. They need detailed API, process documentation, enabling seamless collaboration across distribution teams. Critical as 70% of tech workplace adopts remote hybrid models. Best practice includes using standardized templates, version control, concise language to enhance clarity and usability for both technical and non-technical audience. So one thing that we found that as you go across and you document things, you may use words differently than others. But there are standardized words, standardized templates, and standardized formations that are across the board that allow everyone to understand. Now, each company may have their own formation of how they want things done. They might have their own way of doing things, but once you do learn those things, it should be uniform across the whole company. You should be the same as someone else when it comes to documentation, being uniform on the way it allows someone else to come back behind you, technical or non-technical, and should be able to understand what you have created. They may not be able to duplicate it, but they should be able to understand it. Constructive feedback in code review and team meetings. So effective feedback is specifically actionable and respectfully delivered, foster psychological safety, which companies report improve innovation output by over 30%. All right, so in every organization, you have feedback. You should get feedback, whether it's good feedback or constructive feedback. We used to call it positive criticism. Without it, then you can't grow. You grow through diversity. If everything is easy, if we say everything you do is perfectly sweet, and then you won't grow. You want feedback not only from your supervisor, but you want them from your peers. You do the coding, you do your work, you want to have it reviewed by your peers and have them tear it apart. Tell them you want them to tell you every bad thing they want to know that's in your work. Tear it all down. Make me feel like I haven't done nothing right in it. So when you go back and you do it, and you fix those issues, not only do it make you stronger, but you most likely won't make those same mistakes again. So constantly ask for feedback and be open to feedback. In CISA and NCT Tech, we encourage that on a day-to-day basis. You see something you don't know how to do, bring it to, hey, I have a blocker. This is something that I need you to look over and tell me what I'm doing wrong. Tell me what I'm doing right. Managing communication across diverse teams. As we said before, you have to bridge gaps among developers, designers, stakeholders, requiring empathy, adaptability, and communication styles. Many of us, if you think about the way we speak. We're from the U.S., born and raised in the U.S. We speak African-American code switching. That's the way me and Nikki speak. We do what you call code switching. We have one way that we speak to our people when we at the house, talking with the family, and then we have our way of speaking in the workplace. But even still, that's still a piece of where we came from that's in the way we speak. It may not be the same as the way someone in Ghana speaks because of the way your language is structured, the way you speak to each other, the way you translate words that's in Tree or any other language into other languages, because it's built on experience and your dialect in your area. So sometimes even I have to stop and say, okay, explain that to me again. Say that to me one more time, because the way you said that may not be the way I took it, because in my language, that word means something else. In my background, that means something else. So research showed that across functional teams with effective communication resolve conflicts 40% faster and deliver projects 25% quicker. So once you understand and you bridge that gap between yourself and your teammate and understand where they coming from, they understand where you coming from, they see what you see what they see, now you have a team. Strategic include using common technology, active listening, tailoring messages, which enhance alignment and project success. So sometimes I may even change the way I speak to accommodate my partner, because I know he understands what I'm saying there. And soon he will start using certain terms that I use. And before you know it, the synergy is almost like they've been working together for all their lives. Respectful collaboration and stakeholder engagement. Okay, inclusive teams benefit from a wide ranges of perspectives, which leads to strong innovation and better outcomes. When team members feel psychologically safe, they're more confident in sharing ideas, asking questions, and raising concerns without fear. And we want that. Each one of you want to be able to do that. You want to be able to be in a meeting. You want to be able to feel confident in yourself, in your skills, and the reason that you're there. To where as though if you see an issue or a problem that's going on that falls in your department, falls into what you do, and you say, you should be confident enough, and your team should give you confidence enough, and so you feel safe to come up and say, hey, I know a solution for that. I believe that if we try this, that, and the other, it might work. I'm not 100% sure it's going to work, but it might work. It might be worth trying. So therefore, if, you're communicating, inclusive teamwork and saying to them, hey, speak out. You're here for a reason. You were hired for a reason. That makes you better at what you do. It will make you more inclusive. It will include your team. And you should be expecting that feedback from your team, but you should also expect yourself to give that feedback to others. So when they come on board, new people come in, you already know just how you felt when you came in as a new employee. You might have been laid back a little bit, a little shy, not trying to fail a way around, not trying to ruffle too many feathers. You just got the job. It's a good job. You've been trying hard to get a job. You don't want to do nothing stupid to lose that job. You don't want to say nothing stupid to lose that job, because it used to be a saying like this. People don't know you stupid until you open your mouth and remove all doubts. So a lot of people do what they, call fake it to make it. But not understanding that you were hired for a reason. When we interviewed you, we saw something in you that we need on this team. So we need to be able to make sure that person understands that they are valued, so that we can get the best innovation out of that person. Because we get the best innovation out of that person, it makes my job easier. It makes the team's job easier. All right, building productivity, relationship with clients and partners. Transparent communication, clear expectations, settings, and consistent delivery builds client trust. Reduce contract renewal friction by up to 50%. So let me give you A lot of times you may do presentations or you're asked to show your work to a client or to a partner. Clients and partners are, how can I say this? They're the principal. So if they're looking at what you're doing, what you're doing represent the entire company. So when you show up to a meeting and you're supposed to show your work, and the boss already went to this client and say, yes, we have this, that, and the other. We've done these things for this. And, you know, it's fantastic. I've maintained this relationship with this client for almost a year. And now we're about to do the work and you're about to present it. We done pumped it up. And then once you show that work, you're not ready. Your presentation is not working. It's not right. Now, it's not working sometimes can be excused because we understand technology. Sometimes you get that presentation bug. It knows you're presenting, you know it's important, so it want to break. It happens. But being professional and being transparent that, hey, we're just having a little technical issue with this. Be clear about what the expectations are going to be. And with that, the client will respect not just you, but not just respect you, but it will respect your organization because you're transparent and you open with them. If there's an issue and you say, hey, I think it might be an issue here, we will be able to solve it using this instead of that, say it. Don't let that client keep going down a rabbit hole thinking something is going to be fixed one way, but you know it has to be done another way. You know it may cost less if it has to be done another, or you might get less money in the company, or you're afraid that it might cost more and it might blow up the whole deal. So long-term partnership. So when I go back to that client and say, hey, we did a good job for you, you have more work for us, or you want to give us a referral, it often relates to 60% higher customer lifetime value. They give you referrals, and they keep calling you back for more work. If you're transparent with them, give clear expectations. Don't send them down a rabbit hole. You know, if it ain't gonna work, it ain't gonna work. If it haven't been invented yet, haven't been invented yet. You just got to tell them that. Resolving conflicts and handle disagreement professionally. Now, there's always going to be conflict. You kind of want conflict in the workplace, but it's the kind of conflict you want in the workplace. If you have respectful conflict, where as though which you feel as though things need to be done this way versus this way, you come with evidence. You come back and you show your work. This is how I feel it can work. I feel that if we do it this way, then it work that way. And then the other person say, well, I feel as though if it do this way, it would be better this way. We need to do it this way, blah, blah. And you talk about it. But you talk about it understanding that this is your work colleague. You're both working for the same goal. The same goal is to make sure you got a satisfied client. And though you may have pitfalls in the middle of it, in the end, what you will produce afterwards will be much better product than it would be if there was no conflict. So some people say look at conflict as a negative. You look at that respectful conflict as a positive within your organization. The research indicates that teams trained in conflict management experience a 50% decline in project delay related to interpersonal issues. Emphasizing solution-oriented dialogue transforms disagreements into opportunity for growth and innovation. So I'm gonna give you a little story that we had. We had a conflict over something we were building. We could not come to an agreement on that solution at first. Once we argued over it, we did come to a solution, but end up coming up with two side solutions that were for two different clients that we could use for those two different clients. So we end up solving a problem across three different clients, arguing over one solution that were not even related. So when you when you respect their point of view, argue your point of view, and then they argue their point of view, and then you find that common ground and that synergy in it, you end up building better products. You end up becoming a better team, and which the client get tends to be much better than one person just conceding, saying, hey, do whatever you want to do. I don't like it. I'm just going to step aside. I'm a pout or whatever. So understand that conflict is a good thing. Make sure it's respectful conflict. Make sure you're able to understand that this is your partner. This is your work colleague. Y'all are on the same team. So you're working towards the same goal. Professionalism as a foundation for innovation and culture. Organization embrace continuous improvement throughout professionalism, improvement through professionalism, seeing 25 to 30% gains in operational efficiency. Encouraging learning, soliciting feedback, and adopting emerging technology enhances adaptability and competitiveness. Industry's leaders report that culture promotes let me get some water, hold on. Experimentation and reflection outperforms peers by 20% in innovation revenue stream. So okay, let me back up. Okay, so understanding that each person's culture, where they come from, like I said before, is the reason we get the good products that we get. The culture that you're in, what you build for the culture you're in may not work in other cultures. Or what you have built in your culture need to be going into other cultures or have a different perspective on the way things is done. If in, one culture, I've learned that, hey, this is how I use technology to help growth in farming, manufacturing, or things of that nature. It may not be the same in another culture because the way they do manufacturing is different. But because of the way they do it's different does not mean it's wrong. It's just a different culture. Now we have to innovate to that culture. So having different cultures boosts efficiencies by 25 to 30%. Ensuring reliability and trust throughout the organization. Consistent professional conduct at every organizational level builds trust that directly correlates to product quality and customer satisfaction. If we are professional amongst each other, we're professional with the work, we're professional with the organization, that means we're professional with the client. Studies link strong professionalism with a 15% increase in customer retention and market improvement in brand equality. So the more you're professional, you show up on time, you have a meeting that's at 1, you should be there at 12:55, 12:50. When you're early, you're on time. When you're on time, you're late. When you show up, you're ready to move forward. Your material is in order. You know what you're talking about. You're using keywords, body language. You know, if you don't know, you don't know, but you're looking to find out. So another keyword don't use I don't know. It say, does he do this? Well, I will look to find out. I will look into that to find out. So never use the word I don't know. In conclusion, embracing professionalism to empower tech success. In summary, professionalism in tech is vital for fostering trust, reliability, innovation, upholding ethics, clear communication, respectful collaboration, and continuous improvement, collectively building strong teams and organizations. Embracing these principles ensures sustainable growth, positive impact, and fast evolving technical environment. So with that said, thank you. Thank you very much. Any questions? All right. Okay, so I don't see any questions in the chat. With that said, thank you very much for listening.
No, Nikki,
Okay.
Nikki, I thought I was maybe the mic was on mute.
Oh, okay.
No, Nikki has a question.
Go ahead, Nikki.
Yeah. So, first of all, thank you for that, because professionalism is almost as important as being able to do the actual thing that you were hired for. Well, basically, it is as important to do the thing that you're hired for. So if you're a coder, it's just as important as knowing code to be professional, especially if you're in front of clients. But one thing I wanted to ask about, when you said don't say I don't know, do you mean don't say I don't know and then leave it there, or don't say I don't know, period?
Don't say I don't know, period. So as a professional, you may not know stuff, but your job is to make sure you find out. So if I'm a CEO of a multi-million-dollar company, I just hired your company, and you're a technical company. Technology is constantly evolving. So me as a CEO that's hiring your company, I know absolutely nothing. But you are the professional. So if you don't know something, don't just say, hey, I can look into that and find out. So if it can't be done, then you can give a full report on why it can't be done. If it can be done, you do a full report on why it can be done. See, I don't know is final. It's final. When you say I don't know, that means that at that point in time, your expertise is no longer useful. Because I don't know is final. It's just like stop. Stop, I don't know, or it can't be done. Those are final words of finality. So if you want someone to understand and want you to be the professional, they expect you, even if you don't know, find out for them. Because we really don't know. But you're the tech. You should know. Or you should have the vehicle or the roadmap to find out. So that's just a trick of the field, whereas though it allows you to maintain confidence, people to maintain confidence in what you do know, because what they tend to ask you tend to be way outside the box of what you're doing anyway. So they'll say something like, you're doing internal. And they'll say something like, can I get my AI to fly a plane? I don't know. You don't know. But like, well, it may, I don't, it may, I haven't done that yet, but let me look into that and I'll get back to you. And I'll give them a final report. It can have to be done, but this is the type of person you have to do that. But that made you a, what they call that, make you thought leadership. That you can think outside the box and you can give them information and point them in the right direction. So that's just a cue for that.
Thank you, Harry. Any more questions? If you have any question, you can put it in the chat. All right. So because of time, I wanted to contribute, but you've said it all, Harry. So we'll move on to the next speaker, which is the host. That's me, Segui Sando. So let me do my own introduction. Segui Sando is co-founder for Anansi Tech community, co-CEO for Sister Tech, and CTO for NTC Tech. So what I'll be talking about, presenting today, is Outlook and Calendar as a productive system, how to turn Outlook from just email into your daily command center. Okay, so let's move on. I've already done the introduction, so let's move on. Okay. So let's be honest for a second. So most people think work is overwhelming because there's too much work. Yes, I agree. Sometimes there's too much work, but most of the time, that's not the real issue. The real issue is that work is everywhere. The work is scattered. Some things are in your email, some are in meetings, and some are in your head as well. Some are even written on paper. We also use too many tools like Slack, WhatsApp, notes, reminders, tools that don't talk to each other, making it difficult to keep track of things. So your brain is constantly switching contexts. You are reading an email, then joining a meeting, and also trying to remember something that you forgot. And that kills focus. So sometimes the problem is not that you are lazy. The problem is that your work is scattered. So the goal of today is simple. Move work out of your head and into a system. Next slide, Nikki. Okay. So what do we actually need? What you need is a productive system. And a real system answer 4 questions. That is, what do I need to do? When will I do it? What should I focus on now? What can I actually ignore safely? What can I ignore that won't affect my work? A good system captures work, it organizes it, it reminds you and helps you adjust. And Outlook already does all of this. Most people just don't use it as a system. We use it as just something to receive or send emails. All right. I think the slides are moving a bit slow at my end. So like I said, Outlook is not just for emails. It is a command center. Inside Outlook, you already have your inbox, your calendar, your to-do and categories where you can categorize your schedule. So once these are connected, once Outlook is set up properly, it stops being an email app and becomes your daily command center. It becomes the place where your workday lives. So it has everything you need to be productive for the day. So you don't need more or extra apps. You just need better habits with the tools that you already have. And now we'll start with the calendar, which I would say is the most important part because that's where time becomes visible. And if your calendar is messy, your day will definitely be messy. So let's look at how to switch to week view, how to set your work hours and also show multiple calendars if you need them. I'm having a bit of a technical challenge with my laptop right now, so Nikki will help me with the demo section. And thank you, Nikki, for that. Thank you for that help.
You got it, Sigil. So I'm just putting my thing up here. So the first thing that we were going to start with was the calendar view, setting up. Now we only have 12 minutes left, or am I reading that wrong? Yeah, 12 minutes left in this session, in this meeting. So we're not going to get to our networking time, and also I'm going to be going a bit fast so that we can get through this demo. But if you have questions, put them in the window. We're going to be going through just a few demos. So we're going to look at switching to the different views, week view, enabling your work hours, and how you can show the multiple calendars, as Sigil was saying. So let me get my Outlook back up. Okay. So, you have your Outlook, you have your calendar. You can switch the views so that right now I'm showing a week view, but if you like to see a month view or just a work week or a certain set of days, you can use work week, you can use week, which keeps going down there because that's the time we're in right now. You can use week. Week includes Sunday and Saturday. Work week doesn't have that. There's the month view, and then there's the day view. And with the day view, you can choose whether you want to see 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, 5 days, or up to the 7 days. So you can choose if you want to see maybe the day that you're on and maybe the next 2 days so that you know what's going on today, but you also know what's going on tomorrow and what's going on the next day. So you can do that. To enable your work hours, you got to actually set that up in the settings. So you got to go to the gear. Oh, and all of this that we're talking about is in the new Outlook, which everybody should be on. But if for some reason you're still using the old Outlook, this is stuff that's not going to apply. You're not going to see all of this. Well, you'll see some of this stuff, but not everything, like this gear. So when you go to the gear, this is how you can add multiple accounts, but we'll go back to that in a minute. We wanted to look at setting our calendar work hours. So we go to the calendar. We have these things that we can do here, and at the bottom, there's work hours and location. So I click on that. I can choose what work days I have that I'm working, what those hours are. I can show a work location in my calendar if I like, which I don't usually do that. And then I can also see, what the people in my organization can see. Now, if you have multiple calendars, then you'll have a drop down. I'm sorry, if you have multiple email accounts, multiple accounts that have calendar in it, then you will have a drop down. So you choose the drop down for, choose the account out of the drop down that matches where you want to set the work hours first, and then you set the work hours. This doesn't have any saves. Oh, well, actually it does. Now there's a save button. So there's a save button. So if I make a change, there's a save button. I could also discard if I make a whoopsie. Now, if I want to add multiple calendars, this is where I have to first make sure I have all my accounts in here. So I first got to go to the Accounts tab, which is the first tab you come to when you go to Settings. And then you add a new account if you don't have the accounts where the other calendars are that you want to be able to overlay over top of each one, or be able to see each calendar side by side. So as you see, I have many accounts here, but I can go ahead and add an account. I put in my email address, which could be, as you see, it supports M365, which is what we're talking in, but also Google, Yahoo, of course, Microsoft accounts, POP, IMAP. It supports all that. So you put in that email address, you put in your password. Usually it automatically finds it, especially if it's an M365 account. It's going to automatically find it. You put in your password, and then you'll have that account in your list, and then you'll be able to set your work times and all of that. But then when you go back here to your calendar, you'll have all of your calendars available on the side. Now, if your calendar is scrunched down, sometimes like this, sometimes this side piece will go away. So we need to click that. Okay. Crap. Okay. That side piece will go away. So what you want to do is just maximize it so that you can see everything. Because sometimes, like I said, the side panel goes away. You see I have like a gazillion accounts here, but the one I'm showing right now is my dev account that's showing up here. I also could show maybe another account, maybe this one for Nancy. And let me go to work week. And then we can see, even though it gave things the same color, which I hate when it does that, the things that are in my dev calendar, which are these things that are this lighter green, and then, well, this green as opposed to that green, but it's looking lighter right now because right now I'm actually in the Nancy calendar, so this green is looking more vibrant while it's up here. I can split these calendars apart. So for example, if I'm just like, I can't take this being in one calendar, especially if I'm trying to set an event in one calendar and it keeps going into the other calendar, I can split them apart by using the split view, and then that will give me both calendars side by side, and then I can go to each calendar and make my appointments if that's what I need to do. Just remove the split view if you want your calendar to all be together. So that's switching your views and enabling your work hours, and then your multiple calendars, how you get that. Now let's look at blocking time. So if you want to block time for specific things like focus time or admin, email processing, or maybe even studying or deep work, because as a developer, you still got to have study time. You're still going to need to do maybe community calls like this, but also set aside time for you to study and practice and things like that, especially when you have time. And you want to block those things off in your calendar. You might also want to block those things off in your calendar while you have time, especially if you're new, because when you start getting busy and people start sticking all these things on your calendar, you might want to try to protect your study time and such. Sigo, did you have anything to add? I didn't know if I heard you for a second.
Yeah, I did. I think I was having a bit of an issue. So
Okay.
yeah, but I think you've left there, so that's fine. I was going to tell you that you can change the color. You see the
Yeah, we're
color
gonna go through
was,
that.
yeah, okay.
Yeah, the categories.
No, not
Yeah,
the
yeah.
not the categories. You see
Oh,
both
change the colors to
calendars,
the overlay. Right, right, right. Let me open up. Let
both
me,
calendars had the same color.
right, right. Is that through here? Oh,
Yes,
there it is. Yep.
and the color.
Okay. Nice. Thank you. Made it red. So now you can see the definite difference between the colors. Thanks, Sigel. All right. So now we're going to look at like just blocking time. Now it's just as simple as just going to your calendar and just putting in a block of time. Oops, wrong calendar. If you realize you're in the wrong calendar because you click on the calendar and you notice that the name up here isn't right, or you see the color and you're like, wait a minute, that's not the right calendar, there's a drop down. So you can go and choose which calendar you want it to be in. Now, when you go and choose it, if you already put stuff here, it's going to discard all of that stuff, which makes me a little upset. But that's the way the new Outlook works. The old Outlook didn't do that. So for those of you that are used to the old Outlook, be prepared for that. So I'm just going to say focus time. And I want this time. Now, I could use these to schedule the time, or like I like to use the sidebar, because then I can see what other things might be on that day and schedule in the middle of them. So if I, whoops, not move that like that. If I do that, say I want to have focus time for 2 hours until my client meeting so that I can get prepared, I can get my demos ready, I can make sure my computer's set up and all of that. I can set that, or just focus time for focusing every day. And you just give it a name and you save it. And in that calendar, your calendar is blocked for that time. So it could be, you know, blocking it for, like I said, for email time, because sometimes you don't have time to do email, depending on, you know, how busy you are. Work and study, or, you know, maybe setting out time for other things that you need to block time in your calendar for. So whoopsie, too many clicks. So the next one is the categories. So how do you set categories? The categories can give you different colors so that it can make things look like a little stand out, make it stand out a bit. Also, you can also use it to help you see patterns in the things that you're doing on your calendar. So if I go to well, first of all, I want to create the categories. Actually, it's not here. Okay, so I can go to one of my events.
Okay.
I can right click on it. Yeah, I can't remember how to get to it from here. I know it's on the other side, but I know I can get to it from here. But if you know in general, you can tell me in a second. But once you right click on one of your things, then you get your little drop down menu, and there's categorize. There's already colors and categories here that you can choose from. Now these ones I created. This one, Microsoft Comms, this one, and a security alert. I created these tags, these categories. But I could use the color categories that they have already, like green category, purple category, yellow category. I can also create a new category. So if I want to name it, I don't know, focus time. Maybe I make that purple. Then I hit save. Okay. So because I did a category, I created it and I placed it directly on the block because I had already started off with right-clicking on this block and then choosing categorize. It just puts that category directly onto the block, just like once I finish creating it, it puts it right there. And then I can go to other blocks if I like to categorize them and maybe say, for example, this is Microsoft Comms for, say that, change that one. Maybe these are, oops, help desk. Let's just say that. Okay. So now you see the different colors. And even though that can be a little bit confusing because your calendar color, your calendars have a color, and then your categories have a color. And instead of like your email, when you get the category, it actually puts a little tag on it with the color and the name in it. This just changes the whole color of the thing. So it can make it a little bit confusing. In this situation, if you're using color tags, then you most likely will want to split the view so that you don't misunderstand what is in what calendar, especially if you have multiple calendars. But if you only have one calendar, then having all those different colors in one calendar doesn't make a difference. Okay, Sigil, do you know where to go for the categories?
So one
on the
other way
calendar
is
side?
One other way is to go to view. I think that one will be in the settings. Yeah, you go to the calendar settings and you go to general. The left general.
Yeah.
Sorry, accounts rather. Sorry. You go to accounts.
And
you
categories.
have the, yep.
Okay. All right. So here's the categories too. But again, be mindful if you have multiple accounts because there's a drop down. If I chose the wrong account, then I'll make all these color categories all on the wrong account. So you want to make sure you choose the right account before you start creating or modifying categories. Thanks, Sigil.
You're welcome.
All right. Next up is turning emails into action. So, and we're past time. So I'm going to go ahead and continue for a minute, try to get through the rest of this demo real quick. But for those of you that need to leave, we understand. Feel free to find the recording in our YouTube channel once it gets posted. And if you're connected to us on LinkedIn, you'll be able to get notification for that. But your emails, so turning those into, so you can open your emails and then flag them and then you convert them into tasks and things like that. So if we, again, go back to Outlook and then we go to email, and let me just go to this inbox. Okay. Now, I could flag the email. So whenever you hover over one of these emails, you get the flag option. You can also right-click on it and get the flag option from there, where you can flag it for today, tomorrow, or whatnot. You can also add your reminders from here on your email, reminding you to check that email later. But you can flag the email that way to also remind you to check the email or go back to that email later. And then you can also put it on convert it into a task. So to do that, when you right-click on it, you go down to Advanced Options, and you click on Advanced Actions, and you click on Create a Task. That opens up this to-do calendar window, which you can also open up by clicking on this My Day button up at the top. But it opens it in To-Do, and you can see the, whoops, did I click on something?
Yep, I think you did.
Oh, crap. Okay, try that again. Actually, let me just open it again. Oh, what the heck did I click on? There's something right there, but
yeah,
I don't
it looks
know
like
what
it's
that
loading.
is. Yeah, which it would already have the task there a second ago. Well, anyway, I think y'all saw when it popped up first, there was the task there. I can even show you and to do itself, which I had opened just in case this happened. For any emails that I flagged, I'm signed into the To-Do app on my desktop with my email account right there. So any emails that I flagged, I can see the one that I flagged today right here are showing up. Also, any tasks that I put, any emails that I made into tasks will also show up in my to-do list, which I can access on my phone and I can access through the desktop. All right. We already showed the flag emails in the to-do list. Now, showing the tasks with due dates, I would go in to do because the one on Outlook sometimes doesn't ask right. So I would go into to do and then actually click on whatever it is, the task that I created. And then here I can set a reminder, I can add a due date. So that's where I can actually put some due dates on my tasks. As well as through the window, but the window, like I said, doesn't always work well, as you saw a second ago. Dragging things into the task list. Now, this may or may not work because my thing, oh, here it is. I see what's going on now. Really? So when I clicked on this, it must have switched to a different account, but it wasn't finished putting it up there. So anyway, there's the task list in Outlook this time. So I can actually grab something and drag it. Actually, I have those things in there. Let's try this one. Drag it over to the task list. So I can take an email and drag it over to my task list. I also could have made it into an event, as you might have saw when I was dragging it over, but there's my task in my task list now. And then you can assign time to it and whatnot. But again, do that through the full version of To-Do because not only does this version sometimes not act right, it also does not have the ability for you to make those changes unless you go to the full version of To-Do, which is also here as well, built into Outlook. But I'm going to go back because things is acting a little strange. So, but it's baked into Outlook too. It's just, again, sometimes it's a little hinky. So I use the full version. But that can help you to make things that you need to capture as a task item from your email as a task, and then you can assign time for working on that task. Now, the very last thing is setting reminders, which on the task, you saw how you could set the reminder on the task. But if you're in your calendar and you want to set a reminder on an item that even if it's somebody sent you something, it's not necessarily something that you created yourself. It doesn't matter. You open the item in your calendar, and then you look for this little time clock thing. When you do that, you have the ability to choose when do you want a reminder. Now, these are your basic ones, a week before, a couple of hours, minutes, whatnot. And you'll have a pop-up to remind you when this thing is happening. You can also send an email reminder to yourself, which will send an email to you, and you can choose what time when you want it to send. And that could also help you to remember that you have this thing coming up. So that is the end of the demo.
Thank you.
Here's your last slides.
Yep. Thank you for helping out. I really appreciate it. So let's look at some daily and weekly habits. So daily habits, it's always advisable to clear your inbox, check your weekly calendar and tomorrow's calendar. So it's always advisable to make sure it's on the weekly view so that you know what's happening that week, and also adjust your tasks. For weekly habits, review the upcoming week. Like I said, okay, I think I added the weekly one to the daily one. But review the upcoming week, move unfinished task, you remove unrealistic plans. There are a lot of times we plan for something that's using times that are not realistic. So it's always better to have enough time to for your plans. And what not to do. So these are some things that that breaks, I should say, that breaks the system. So the things that you are not to do, using your inbox, as a task list, overbooking your calendar, you skipping your review time, and also ignoring categories. It's always advisable to associate your meetings or what's on your calendar to categories, so that the moment you see your calendar, when you have a glance and look at it, you're able to see which event is for what. And also ignore reminders. There are a lot of times we've ignored reminders. We've seen it, but we ignore it. So that's one thing that we should stop doing. So if you do all these things, Outlook becomes stress instead of supporting you. So some key takeaways. So here's what I want you to remember. Outlook can run your workday, and the calendar is your backbone. And email must lead to action or decisions. When you get an email, you should know which one you should archive, which one you should turn into task, and which one should be on your calendar, so that always you are well informed. And also, one system means less stress. Outlook is enough. You don't need other system like other reminders, other notes to manage your daily tasks or weekly tasks. Outlook is enough to do that if you use it well. And I will end it with a challenge. So this week, try to block focus time on your calendar and convert at least 5 emails into tasks. Don't try to change everything at once. Just start with something small and build that attitude. So any final questions? Because of time, if you have any more questions. Okay, I think Amen, your hands, you have a question.
I just want to clarify something about blocking a certain time for like deep study or deep work. If I were to do that, would any tech meeting be able to still send me an invite and I will be still getting that notification on my Outlook on top of my deep work block that I set up? Does that make sense?
So if I get you right, you are asking if you set time for deep work, whether you are going to receive notifications or not.
Correct, because usually in Outlook, it would show up at, for instance, 9 a.m. I have a tech meeting. But at 9 a.m. I set it aside for some deep work. Would I still get like side by side deep work and an invite for a team meeting at 9 a.m.?
So if I don't think I got the last part, but
yeah,
if
I understand her question. Yes, you would.
Okay.
If you ended up with two things on your calendar, they would show up side by side on your calendar at that same
Oh.
time. And then you get a reminder reminding you for the upcoming meeting. Now, what sometimes the block does is when people can see your calendar, or like something like a Calendly or a tool like Microsoft Booking or something like that, sees your calendar, it would block off those times so nobody will be able to schedule anything in those times. But if somebody
Okay, see,
sent you something, just
understand.
directly sends you something, then it will go into your
Okay.
calendar as long as you accept it.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
You're welcome. Sorry to rush you, Sigil. Just that we are way over time now.
Yeah, no problem. Okay.
So I'm going to skip us to the last two slides.
I don't know if you're on it yet.
Yes, I skipped us to the.
Okay.
So because it's.
I see it now.
Oh, you got it now? Okay.
Okay. So if you want to try some of the things that we talked about today, or anytime we are talking about Office 365 or Microsoft 365, if you want to try it out, you can get a dev account, which is no longer completely free. You now need Visual Studio Professional or Enterprise in order to get it. So if you have it, you'll be able to get a dev account. You can also sign up for a trial and use it for up to 90 days, up to 3 months if you extend it on time. Okay, so we hope you all enjoyed joining this call for this month, learning with us. And although today we weren't able to do the networking, hopefully next month we will be able to have our network time. We really appreciate you joining us. If you have any ideas about topics that you like to hear, you can reach out to us. You have the QR codes on the screen so that you can talk to us through the community page. You can reach out to us on LinkedIn. You can use our email address and let us know what kind of topics you might want to hear for the coming months. You can also take advantage of our post-event survey and let us know how our events are going or how this one had gone. And we'll see you next month. The third Thursday of next month.
Fourth Thursday.
Yep, sorry, fourth Thursday. Thank you, Nikki. Fourth Thursday of next month. Yeah. So thank you all for your time. We'll see you next month.
See everybody.